through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hey friends, it's Simon Hurley from Inklips and welcome to another video. Now I'm back here in my craft room from all of the fun after Creativation. It was so much fun kind of unveiling my new product line and I hope you all really enjoyed it. I'll create some videos about that in just a little bit, but I wanted to make another card making life hacks. I had posted something on Stamp Junkies, which is a really great group in Facebook of tons of different crafters and stampers, and I posted that I was going to share a new life hacks video, but I wanted to hear all of your awesome life hacks and ideas. So you guys all posted some really awesome stuff in there, and in today's video I'm going to be kind of testing some of those out, trying them out for myself, seeing if I can kind of improve on some of them, and maybe give you guys some great ideas from your life hacks as well. So without further ado, let's get right on into this video. Okay, so for this first life hack, Shannon says that she takes a cookie sheet, she lined the inside with a magnetic sheet, and then she leaves that next to her die cutting machine so she can put her dies that she's using, and that way they don't kind of go flying all over the place, because trust me, I've had those dies where they're really tiny and then you just lose them while in your craft room and you're never going to find them again. So today I thought I would kind of update this a little bit. She said that she struggled with adhesive in there, so I wanted to give kind of an updated version. So here I bought this frame from the craft store. It was pretty cheap, but I like the kind of wood edges on here. It would be even cooler if it had a back that kind of stands it up too. But I'm going to be creating kind of a magnetic sheet inside of here, and this is going to look really great when you have it out on your desk as well. So you can put all your dies on here when you're working, and then take them off once you're done. So I'm going to go in here, and to take this backer off, I'm going to just use a palette knife to get under all of these little pieces and lift those right up. So once we got all those pieces lifted, we can easily lift all of the pieces of the inside of the frame out here. So we can take everything out. And I'm just going to throw away the part with the matting on it and the paper and stuff like that, because we're not going to need that. But keep the glass and the backer sheet, because that's going to be helpful for later when we put it all back together. Now before I move on, I want to show you guys what I'm going to use to put on the inside of it to hold all the dies. So this is magnetic vent covers. These come in packs of 3, and they're basically just big strips of magnets here. So they're going to be great for die storage and things like that, because they'll hold onto your dies nicely. But I'm going to kind of put this inside the frame so you have an easy, place to hold all your dies. Okay, so the frame is 8 by 10, and since this stuff is pretty thin, I'm just going to go in my trimmer here. I'm going to just cut this down, and this Nuvo trimmer goes through it really easily. So we'll do 8, and it's already 8 inches. Okay, then all you have to do is take your frame again, put the magnetic sheet right inside there. This is going to be the front piece. And then once you've got that, I'm going to put the glass right behind it. This is going to ensure that it's going to hold really nice in there. And then I'm going to put the back right back onto it. And then all you have to do is, I find it easiest, again, I'm going to go back in with a palette knife and just push all these pieces down. So once you're done with this, you have this really nice framed magnetic sheet, and all you have to do is take the dies you're working on with your project and easily stick them onto the magnetic sheet. So even little things like these little flowers will stay on there really nicely, and they're not going to move or shift when you're working. So you can leave this out on your desk like this and kind of work with it like that. So it's really awesome to have that magnetic sheet. They're easy to grab off there when you need them, but they're not going to get lost either. But I like how this looks too with that nice frame there, and you're not worrying about adhesive either on the inside, which is really great. So I hope you guys really like this kind of magnetic sheet framed option. I think it looks really nice in your craft room. You could set it next to your die cutting machine, or just keep it on your desk as kind of a keep all place for your dies before you put them away when you're done crafting. Now once you're done working, another great tool is this Spellbinders kind of diamond shaped thing, so it kind of can sit on your desk like this. Now I don't love the small surface area to hold all my dies, but once you're done with everything on your desk, a great option to kind of pick them all up is using this wonderful tool, and it picks them all up really nicely, and you can just take these all off and put them back into the packaging. But I love this idea too, because that large surface area, so you can kind of keep them all spread out on here, or keep your favorite dies on here too. Okay, so Laurel had a really fun idea as well. I love this one. So if you don't have tons of colors of embossing powder, you can stamp down a dye-based ink with a sticky clear ink, and then you can clear heat emboss over top of it and get whatever color embossing powder you want. Now, it's not going to give you as opaque and kind of pigmented as a look as a regular colored embossing powder does, but it does a pretty great job, and if you want it to kind of coordinate with your inks you're using, this is awesome. Okay, so for this, I'm going to be using my new dye-based inks. Now, these are shipping in February, and I cannot wait for you guys to get your hands on these. But I'm going to use the Remember Me color. Now, the cool part about these inks is they give you a little bit of drying time. They dry really nice and fast into the cardstock, so they're not going to smear on you. But they have a little bit of open time where you can throw some heat embossing powder over top of it really quickly. So I'm going to go in here. I'll ink up my Hey Dude stamp. This is from the Dudes 2 stamp set, also releasing in February, but I'll have everything linked down below in the description. So once I've stamped that image down, I'm going to go in with some clear embossing powder. I keep this in a nice big tub because I use it a ton. I'll sprinkle that over top, and you can see it picks that embossing powder up really nicely, and then all I have to go is take my heat tool and heat this up. So that is so much fun. I love that they stay wet long enough, just long enough so you can throw that clear layer of embossing powder over top, and this is going to coordinate with whatever you use that color Remember Me on. Now, if you don't have an ink like this that stays wet long enough for you to throw that clear embossing powder over top, all you have to do is go in with a clear sticky ink. This is the Distress Embossing ink pad. You would ink your stamp up just the same way, so it's got that clear layer on it, and then you would go in with your next ink, ink it up, and do the exact same process. And then you would stamp this down. It's not going to affect your dye-based ink pad, but it's going to give that nice sticky layer of ink over top, and then you can throw that clear layer of embossing powder over top and do the exact same technique. So thanks for this fun idea of the heat embossing Laurel. I'm super excited about it because now you can get kind of that clear look over top of your colors and get a really awesome embossing that can match your project. Okay, so Jeannie commented and kind of reminded me of this really great life hack of how to kind of color your own embellishments. So if you have some embellishments that are white or kind of pearl colored in your stash and you want to color them in, this is a really great way to tailor them and create them to match your project that you have. So I don't have any pearls because I don't tend to use those on my cards, but I do have these really cool kind of white flowers in here. And I'm going to show how to color these. So in order to do this, they don't come on a sheet. So what I like to do is just take a piece of tape. This is just some yellow frog tape here. And all I'm going to do is just take the flowers, assuming that you would only use a couple on the project to kind of scatter them around. All I'm going to do is just take them and place them on the tape. So no matter what you're working with, this is a great holder for different things. So whether you're using it as a handle for embossing or just to hold some little embellishments down, this is a great way to do that. Okay, so once I got these adhered down to my surface, I'm going to use some alcohol markers. So these happen to be Copics. You can really use whatever alcohol markers you want. There's nothing too specific about this. Or you could use alcohol ink too. And then all you need to do is just go in here and on each flower just color it in simply with your alcohol marker. And this is just going to give that coat of ink over top of it to really kind of customize it to your project that you're creating. So if you don't want to just use white little flowers, you can add a red color or add pinks or whatever color you want to it, which is really cool. And like I said, you could do this with flat back pearls or whatever embellishment you have. So you can see you want kind of a darker, bolder color because it's going to be a little bit lighter on here. So this yellow is pretty difficult to see, but it gives it a nice little subtle color there. So I'll just color these in quickly. It's pretty quick to go over top of this. Now if I was doing these in bulk, like a whole row of pearls, I would definitely go in with my alcohol inks and an alcohol ink applicator tool, and that's going to be a lot easier to kind of cover the whole surface. So that lighter blue didn't really work too well, but when I go in here with this darker blue, it really covers that super nicely and gives it some great color to my embellishments. So look at those really awesome flowers. I just glued those to a piece of paper, but you can see how simple it was to just really easily customize those with the Copic marker. So you don't need to buy them in one of every color, you just need white, and you could easily tailor these to any project and any theme you have. So thanks so much, Jeannie, for sharing the fun idea of coloring your own embellishments. It really does create an awesome custom piece for your project, and then you don't need to buy them in one of every color. You could just have them in really simple colors like white or pearl and be able to color them in yourself. Okay, so Adelita left an awesome comment on here that really kind of got me thinking. So she said that she runs acetate through her die cutting machine through an embossing folder. So it gets that really awesome texture in the acetate, and I wanted to try this out. So let's get started. So I got this Studio Katia acetate sheets. These come in a pack of 4, but I really just like them. They have blue kind of backer sheets on them, and once you peel it off, you get a really nice acetate sheet, and sometimes I struggle to find like a perfect one like this, so these are really nice to use. I'm just going to put this in my embossing folder. I have a limited selection of these. I think I should buy some more because I think they're really fun. But I haven't invested a ton in them, but this could be really awesome. Okay, so I just pulled this out of the machine and look at just how awesome that embossing is on there. It gives a really great texture, and I love that this is see-through too, so let's create something cool on a card with this. So to create a fun and colorful background for this panel, for the acetate to go over top of, I'm going to be using my new inks in 3 different colors. So I'm going to start off with Bee Sting here. We're just going to create a nice little blended background. So I'm just going to go into here, quickly apply a little bit of color. And this is on the new Stark White cardstock too. So that takes the ink really nicely as you're blending. It's going to give you some really nice, vibrant, and saturated colors on there. So then I'll go in with some slippery when wet ink. And I just tap off my blending tool to the side to kind of get rid of a little bit of excess ink before I go in again. And then in between that, it's going to blend to make a really beautiful orange color. And then finally, I'll finish it off with a little bit of Clear Skies. And this is a really nice bright blue. I just love how these 3 colors mix. Since they're those primary colors, they really mix to create some beautiful colors in between them, so you get a really fun background. Okay, so I'm not going to introduce any new patterns, but I'm just going to spray this down to create a little bit of texture in there, and it kind of, look at that, it reacts and creates a really beautiful background once you're done. So it's not super smooth anymore, but it just adds a little bit of texture to your background. Okay, that one is super fun, and I just wanted to include it because I really didn't know you could do that. So I just embossed that layer of acetate there, and then I just add this right onto the front of a card, just on the back there. And this is just a really simple, quick card that I created with that ink blended background using my new inks. And I also used a little guy from the Trampoline Friends stamp set too. So all that stuff is releasing in February, but I'll have it all linked down below to pre-order. But this is really awesome. So it's a really simple card, probably would just write a little note in here, and then you have a sneak peek onto kind of what is on the inside with this fun little flap. So it's just really simple, really fun, but thank you so much for sharing that tip, because this is super awesome, and I love the fact you can incorporate acetate into your projects. Okay, so Laurel also commented a really fun thing that you can cover the back of Vellum using Xyron adhesive. In fact, I have it right here. So this is the Xyron sticker maker. You basically just put your piece in here that you want adhesive, and then you pull it out the other side. You have it adhesive backed fully on that side. Kind of makes your own little sticker. However, I found something that works really well for me. So if you love that, you can still use that. But this scrapbook.com roll of adhesive, this thing is huge. It's a little bit expensive, but you get a lot on here. I'll link up in the top corner too, where you can do some really fun techniques with glitter and using this adhesive. But lots of people ask me how to cover the back of Vellum, and I'm going to show you here. So I just used that big roll of scrapbook.com adhesive. I covered the back of the Vellum sheet, so it's got this backer sheet on it, and then you can do whatever you want with this. Okay, so now the cool part about this scrapbook.com adhesive is you can die cut a really large image and have that whole thing be covered. So rather than being limited with the small space of the sticker maker, you can really do lots of area with this, which is really great. So that big roll comes in really good handy. But what I like to use it for is just my sentiments. So I like to go in here, I'm going to do some embossing. So I'm going to take some embossing ink. I'll ink up my stamp again. I'm just using that same Hey Dude sentiment from my stamp set. And then all you need to do is, I'll stamp it in the corner here so we save some space, is just stamp that down. And then you can take whatever embossing powder you want. I like a gold, or this case I'm using liquid platinum here. All I'm going to do is take this and just dump it right over top of that sentiment then. So just some simple heat embossing. Okay, so with this, you want to heat it sparingly when you're embossing it, because it's that vellum, you don't want it to warp, and there's adhesive on the back now too. But once I'm done with that, all I need to do is go into here, and I'll just bring my scissors in, cut this out, and then I'm just going to go right along the border of that sentiment, leaving a little bit of a vellum border on the outside here. I'm just going to cut this out really quickly. So you can set the excess off to the side. You basically created your own vellum backed sticker. And so then once you've created it, I'm going to pull the adhesive back off of this. And look, you have full backed vellum. It's super simple. You can't see any adhesive behind it, which is super nice. So I've gotten lots of comments in videos in the past on how I did that. And this is exactly how I created that really awesome sticker for your card. So thanks Laurel for sharing this. I hope my tips with the scrapbook.com roll helped. So if you want to cover that bigger surface area, you definitely can create stickers that are a little bit larger or some intricate die cuts using that. And I am going to stick this back onto the sticker sheet and use this for a future project because I don't want to waste it. I think it's super cool. Alright, that was super awesome to test some of your life hacks. It was really great that you guys commented those. Thanks so much for sharing your life hacks with me. So if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you want to join the family, click that subscribe button down below, and lots more videos are coming for inspiration with my product line very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. They're all shipping in February, and I'm super excited to see what you guys all create with everything. And I would love to hear down below in the comment section what your favorite life hack from today's video was. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for another card making and crafting video. Have a great day. Bye!